United States and the European Union have closed in on what US President Donald Trump has labeled as the biggest ever trade deal after a tariff standoff following Trump's tariff onslaught. Now, the announcement has come after Trump's meeting with EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Scotland ahead of the US's August 1st deadline. Now, Trump has stated that a baseline tariff of 15% would be levied on EU exports to the United States. Trump has stated that the US has reached a good deal, and this is probably the biggest deal ever reached in any capacity. Now, as part of the deal, Trump has said that the 27-nation EU bloc had agreed to purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the United States, as well as make $600 billion in additional investments. EU President von der Leyen has stated that significant purchases of US liquefied natural gas, oil and nuclear fuels would come over 3 years as part of the bloc's bid to diversify and move away from Russian sources of energy. My colleague Aditya Wadhwan with us on the broadcast. Aditya, overnight crucial developments have taken place. The US and EU have now reached a massive trade deal. This, of course, follows Trump's tariff threats that he's been making for months. He set an August 1 deadline. And now, of course, we're learning that 15% tariffs would be levied on EU exports to the US. And the EU has also agreed to purchase $750 billion worth of energy from the United States of America.
Well, absolutely. You see, it is, one of the, target that, this Trump administration was hoping to achieve this particular trade deal with the European Union, because, time and again, Trump has been saying that that the European Union has been very unfair to them as far as trade is concerned. For quite some years, we have seen that how, there exists a large trade deficit between US and the European Union for quite some years, and that is why Trump, this was on top of the agenda that Donald Trump had to make this trade deal mutually beneficial for America as well. Now it needs to be seen from here on how this trade equation between US and EU goes. However, still 15% tariffs are being imposed on the exports from the European Union as far as US President Donald Trump is concerned. Now it needs to be seen from here on how these trade talks, trade relationship between the United States and European Union finalizes. Yes. Yeah.
One crucial point I highlighted was, of course, the investments that the EU will be making in the United States of America. Of course, since the war in 2022 had commenced between Russia and Ukraine, the EU has basically been playing a double game. It's had double standards as far as procurement of energy from Russia is concerned. While, of course, slamming India, they continued to procure energy from Russia, but now they're looking at shifting towards the US.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you rightly pointed out, for quite some time now, the European Union was purchasing, importing gas, energy from Russia for quite some time, and there was in between the Nord pipeline of the Russia. There were talks, that they will also impose sanctions on those considering the situation of the Nord pipeline. However, this is a very hypocritical also part of the Europeans that on one hand they have been slamming, they were slamming that India should not purchase any gas and oil from Russia, and now due to that, due to the American pressure, now they have shifted this trade thing to United States of America. And recently we saw how one of the US senators threatened India that if it buys oil and gas from Russia, it will have consequences for countries like India, China and Brazil. Yes. Yeah.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.